Hi, and welcome to It's a Cooking Thing. On today's menu, we're going to have corned beef brisket dinner. Now, this is a very simple meat to cook. I like to put it in my crock pot. It makes it so tender and tasty, and you can put it in there, fix it, and forget it type of a meal. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and open my package. I'm going to have to go over here and do this, and I have to put it in here, and I'll be right back. Alright, now I've got my corned beef in here. Now with it comes this little package of seasoning. Now you can use it or don't have to. For years I didn't, and then I just started using it. It just, it's good with or without it. It just gives it maybe a little bit more pickling type of a flavor, but it's real good. You know, like I say, it's going to go in the crock pot and it's going to cook for a long time. I'm going to say probably about 6 to 6.5 hours. There again, it depends on your crock pot. Now, I like to cook it on high heat. It's not really that high in a crock pot, but if you cook it lower, it's just going to take longer to achieve the same effect. So, I'm just going to put this in my crock pot and just add some water. Now, you don't need much, but I am going to put about probably a total of 3 cups of water into this corned beef. And this crock pot holds 7 quarts. It's an old crock pot. I don't even know if they make the 7 quarts anymore. I've seen a lot of 6 quarts, but it works and I like it. So anyway, I'm just going to plug it in, put my setting on high, and like I said, probably about 6 to 6.5 hours we'll come back to it. And we're going to have a full dinner with this. So I'm going to make parsley potatoes, and I'm going to make put my cabbage in my Instapot. With that, I add an onion and an apple, but I'll show you that a little bit later. Okay, now while our beef brisket, or corned beef brisket, is in the crock pot, I've decided to make some cookies. These are simple cookies from a mix. As a matter of fact, I got it from Cabela's. It's oatmeal raisin. And I use this kind of cookie mix when we camp. It just, you know, something nice and hot and sweet, and it's easy to do. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bowl, and oh, and also this makes approximately 2 dozen. Of course, it depends on how big you want the cookie. So what I'm going to do is just put this mix in here, and 1 egg, and let me get a spoon. Now, this is 1 stick of butter. It's supposed to be room temperature, but I don't like to wait, so I put it in the microwave just a little bit, slightly. Because you just kind of want it like this, not melty, but just creamy. That would be like a room temperature. Alright. Now, what I'm going to do next, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to have to unplug my crock pot. I just got to remember to plug that back. And make my cookies. All right. Now, this, or we'll never eat the meat. Now, I'm just going to use this same spoon here. Now, your consistency is going to be about like this. And still, there's a little bit left here that needs to be stirred. I know it's tempting to add a little water or milk, but it's pretty much measured out the way it's supposed to be. And this just kind of forms like a, just like a dough ball. And see, it looks about like that. Now, I'm going to put this on a pan. First I'm going to wash my hands because you got to pick it up with your hands. You just can't be too clean when you're fooling with food. Alright, let me get me another spoon here. Now, you just want it about that size. Now, you know, you might make a little less of a of 2 dozen just because of the size of the cookie. And like I said, this is so easy to do. And like I said, I'm going to make a whole corned beef brisket meal. That's just my take on it. Of course, you know, you can put whatever you want for sides. I just chose what I thought would probably go pretty good with the dish. Now, into this, let's see, it goes 350 degrees for, oh, it says 9 to 11 minutes. I'd say maybe 9 to 12, 9 to 13. It depends on the size of your cookie and how your oven holds its heat. But according to the package, it's 9 to 11 minutes. So, I'm going to get these in here and we will check them in 9 to 11 minutes. All right, we're going to check on our cookies. I think they're done. Let's see. Oh, yeah. That's how they're supposed to look. Now, I kept mine in here for about 15 minutes. But when they look like this, kind of like a golden brown, and of course be careful when you try to get this because they want to fall apart. Just gotta have a little patience and always make sure you put plenty of oil on your pan. If you don't put oil on your pan, you're gonna have a lot of issues with your cookies falling apart. And if they did, let it cool, crumble them up, and use it as a topping on a dessert or ice cream. Don't let it go to waste. It just tastes too good. Now, to get this one here. There we go. And like I said, this is the oatmeal raisin. Now if you wanted to add more raisins you could, or if you wanted to add some peeled and diced apple you could, or if you want to put some almonds or walnuts in there you could. I've done it. It's really good if you wanted to add a little more stuff to it. But if you just want it regularly with raisin oatmeal cookies, and this is it. And like I said, I got the package from Cabela's, and it makes 2 dozen cookies depending on the size. I don't think I quite get 2 dozen because my cookies are kind of big. But anyway, this is going to also be our little dessert after our corned beef brisket dinner. Okay, now that we've taken our cookies out of the oven and they're done for a little something sweet after our meal, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take these little potatoes and I'm going to boil those. Then when they're done, I'm going to drain them and put some butter and parsley and salt and pepper. This is just going to be simply parsley potatoes. And these are already pre-washed, so you don't have to wash them. Or you can use any potato you have on hand. I just happen to pick these up because they're pretty. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put these in here. me take this over here and get some water. Now I have put probably about, oh, I don't know, 2.5 inches of water, just enough to cover your potatoes. So I'm going to put them here and let them do their thing. Now in the meantime, in order to get my cabbage and everything together, I'm going to cook this in an Insta pot, a pressure cooker. You can cook it in a regular pot if you want to, or even in the oven if you want to. I just chose the pressure cooker for today. Now, in my cabbage, besides the cabbage, I have some leftover onion, or you could use a whole big onion of your choice. I just happen to have this left, so I'm going to cut that up. And to that I add an apple. And to that, I'm going to put 2 packages of ham seasoning. I'm going to put about, a 1/4 cup of sugar. And I'm going to use all the rest of I like to use apple cider vinegar. And I'd say that's probably going to be about 1/4 cup as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut my cabbage first. Let's see here. These things scare me because it's just round and I got a sharp knife. But, you know, you don't have to take such a big chunk of it at a time. And then, you know, you just want to kind of cut it like this. You know, just kind of nothing particular. Then I just kind of like to go like that. And basically that's all there is to it here. So to my cut cabbage, I chopped apple and onion in there. And I just used what I had left over, some red onion and some Vidalia onion. It would just make like one whole onion to put in there. And then I put the ham seasoning in here. I put 1/4 cup of sugar in there. And then I used the rest of my apple cider vinegar, 1/4 cup. Again, I apologize for you not being able to see that. So we're just going to go on from here. And I'm going to put this over here in the Instapot. And I'm going to let it cook for about 30 minutes. You can go between 20 and 30, but I like it to cook for about 30 minutes. Okay, now our potatoes have finished boiling. And I just drained them. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a stick of butter. I know it sounds like a lot, but they are Parsley buttered potatoes. Let that melt just a little bit. Now to that, I'm going to add about 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. And about a teaspoon of salt. Because potatoes being potatoes, they absorb that. And I'm going to add a teaspoon of parsley. Make sure that's parsley. Now, what you do is just stir it around. Oh, it's hot. Make sure you get your parsley on it. And your salt and your pepper. And all those good things. I'll just take one out and show you what it looks like. Get a little bit of this sauce here. Whoops. Now there you go. Now that's your parsley potato with butter. Okay, now this is our finished cabbage. It's been cooking in my Instapot for about 30 minutes. I've already taken the steam out and I wanted to show you what it looks like. It's just cabbage with onion and apple. And of course the seasoning I talked about. And this is going to be a side dish that's going to go with our corned beef supper. All right, this is our finished beef brisket. It cooked in the crock pot for about 6 hours, 6.5 hours. And it's nice and tender, it's spiced really well. And with that, to complete the meal, was the cabbage, the parsley buttered new potatoes, and also I have made cookies to go with it. And anyway, I hope you try this recipe and enjoy it. It's a very good recipe. And I want to thank you again for watching It's a Cooking Thing. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Bye.